So there are different levels of people.
No, but that's not that is what it is that is like taking an AP class. That's what it is. If you do this, you can take an AP A levels. Right? Everybody took O levels.
Okay.
Everybody.
So that's right.
The dumbest person took O levels.
That's right. And so you're saying everybody should take A levels too?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I don't think it just doesn't happen.
Everybody should take AP.
You can have somebody.
Everybody.
You can have somebody. You can have students. Let's say I'm teaching something. I'm on a certain topic right now, the French Revolution. So I have one class. Now but you don't seem to understand the way it really is. It's not the way you think it is. So I have a class. The first class I have is my so-called honors global history class. These kids, I would say the majority of that class is white. They're not really all that. Okay? But they've been told that they were honor students. They're not disruptive. The smartest two kids I have, in reality, one comes from a Catholic school and the other one's straight from Russia. They don't have nothing to do with Staten Island. They just landed here. Some of them are smart, and the majority of them are just average kids.
You got any Caribbean kids? How do they feel?
I have one kid from Trinidad.
He's very good,
he's
right?
not in that class, no.
He's
then I have the
good,
second
right?
class of sophomores. And these are students who are not at a higher level. They're not. Some of them are special ed. Some of them aren't. They're distracted. They're not interested. And again, they're mixed. They're white. They're black. They're everything. And then the last class I have, which is an honors class of 10th graders, and they're the smartest. They really are smart. And they're black, Hispanic, and a couple of whites. Now, what's the deal? The white students were told early in life that you're smart. Somebody may have favored them. Maybe their parents didn't want them in the regular. Put my child in the honors classes. And that's where that kid ended up. Now, I teach all of them the same, but I can tell you they don't all test the same. I'm not going to create a new lesson for the students who are not honors students. And I treat all of them equally, but they are not the same people. Because some of those students, just like those we ran into out in the street the other day at the football game, who says, I'm just in a regular class and that's what I like. You can't deny that some people do not want that.
But I'm not going to deny that. But I'm telling you that is in the minority.
You don't know that, Ans.
I do know that.
You don't know that.
Why are you saying I don't know that?
Because you have no proof of that, and that you don't know that it's in the minority. You don't know that. There are people who just don't want information.
So you telling me that the majority of the people, the majority of the kids of color, all right?
I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you either way, but I'm not saying that. You can't say...
I can say
every
that.
black, you can say
not
it if you want.
Kid, not every.
You can say what you want, but you have no proof that every black kid who is not in honors does not want to be there.
No.
I've had kids say, I've heard conversations of kids that we know or that we have in common say, well, listen, I didn't want to be in an honors class because there was just too many white people in there. So, or I couldn't relate to them, or my friends weren't in there, or they wanted me to do too much. So, if somebody is reading at a third grade level, look, last year, the year before last, I had these freshmen. The class was off the hook. I came home every day looking for a drink. I'm telling you, it was so bad. I was ready to cry every day. Anybody who knows me knows what a rough year it was. And then one day I was like, what is going on? I go onto the Department of Ed website, ARIS, and I look at the grades. Reads at a second grade level, third grade level, fifth grade level. And anybody read at a sixth grade level got put into an honors class. This was how bad this group was. Then I went back and looked at their report cards from 8th grade. Many of them had failed 4 classes in 8th grade, but were still promoted into the 9th grade. So what do I have to do? If I give them something, text that looks like this, they get turned off. Nobody will read it. So you have to give them books. You get different social studies books. This social studies book is at a 4th grade level. This one's at a 9th grade level. The oldest book is at the 10th grade level, what it's really supposed to be. on. I mean, there's a reality out there. This sounds really nice, and if this is the case for him, I guess he would have to find many situations where this has been the case. But there is a level of complacency in the community where people just don't want all that information. Sometimes being intelligent is not something that people strive for. There's a whole anti-intellectualism that exists in the whole country right now. No, everybody doesn't want to go to college.
If it affects people of color more?
I don't know if it does, but I know it's, do you know what, just like this Raven Simone, this whole thing about being black or African American or just American, it is an American phenomenon. People don't want to read. Children don't want to read.
People.
So for you to act like this is, people are dumb across the board, black, Hispanic, white, Asian. We got all dumb people all over the place in every country. So I'm not.
But you know what some people will be saying, that Marjorie is saying that these black kids that are in the lower levels, most of them are happy in the lower levels. Most of them.
Listen, you know what?
Don't want to be in AP or honors classes.
If anything, again, as a political science person and a student of history, I believe in polling people and asking questions and finding out before I come to a conclusion. But hold on. And so I am telling you, from 25 years of experience and being around a lot of kids, thousands of kids,
in New York.
New York, New Jersey, whatever.
Detroit too?
I spent time at a trip, but I was a kid myself when I was substitute teaching.
You weren't around kids in Detroit though?
I substitute taught at Cass Tech High School. And I am telling you.
What, like 30 years ago?
I am telling you. I mean, no, really, it's serious. And are you really, it's beautiful that you have this dreamy idea that every kid, wants to do something. But I mean, look at the, wait. Look at the rate of college going. Okay? Just look at that. There's only like 27, 28% of people in the whole United States who even have a bachelor's degree.
Why is that?
Because college costs a lot of money, and a lot of these people, a lot of these kids who get out end up taking a remedial course because you have to get placed in, right? You take you take a test, especially for a CUNY, or some people say CUNY, but I don't like that. For a CUNY, any city college, you test to get in. If you don't have X on the regents, then you have to take these tests. You take the test, then they tell you need to take a remedial course. If you don't do that in the summer, if there's some break for you, then what happens is you end up taking that course, you pay for that remedial course, and then you don't get any credit. And after a year of that, you get kind of tired of that because you're already taking stuff that you should have done when you were in high school.
This song, it's song like doom and gloom.
No, it is not.
It sounds like
you know what? A dear friend of mine said to me yesterday, because I come home and I get really frustrated the things I have to hear and see every day. And he says, listen, you're just trying to save the race. I'm just trying to uplift the race. You can't. Everyone does not want to be saved. Everybody doesn't want to go to college. And then to make it that everybody has to go, everybody has to be an AP, everybody has to be an honors, it's just too much. What you need to do is teach your son how to, whatever trade or skill you have, because you don't have any black people out there, very few I see, in this country, in this part of the country, using heavy equipment, bulldozers. I don't see them out there working on the road in the middle of the night.
Too cold outside during the winter time.
Listen, there's so many things that can be done that give you a good living. Everyone does not have to get an AP thing. It just doesn't. Now, if we go back to this man whose child was denied that, I understand
it
his
happens
child
quite often.
Okay. So you say, but you don't know that.
It does.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there are many kids.
We've been arguing for a long time.
No, we're just going to continue. We can't play any other stuff. Anyway, but listen to this.
I want to get to the other article too, but go ahead.
Yeah, but many kids, right, who want to be all right, promoted to AP or honors.
We need to find those
cannot people. Because it's filled.
The only thing from everything we have seen, everything we read, the only thing that is really, really level
you think this
is the math class at this point. So the only thing that is really leveled is the math class.
So the ACLU is not telling the truth then?
Whether they're telling they're doing their stuff based on research, and I think that the district, and I'm sorry to say this, will do what it can, because nobody wants to keep. I just can't.
What about these facts though from the ACLU?
Okay, these facts, but we know that social studies is not level. Is level, but there's fluidity between levels. We know that's the same thing for English, correct?
No, and we know that in the middle school though, and not in the
high school. Didn't you hear all these boys tell you they were in honors, or social studies? Of anything that they were in, it was an honors social studies or an honors English class. An AP English.
So there are no levels in those classes?
There are levels, but they make it fluid. If you want to get out, if you want to take a class in the summer to step you up, then you can move up a level. All they have done, to me, from what I can see, now I may be wrong, is stratify the math classes, because everybody can't do math and everybody shouldn't, because math isn't even all that fun anyway.
Okay? You don't like math?
No, I don't see. I just saw this article yesterday, NPR posted, and EduCause or whatever, one of these, educational things I have on my Facebook page. And they says, why do I even need algebra? And there's this frustrated black woman sitting there. So, to assume that, that's what cuts many people out. Some people just hate math. Some people hate reading too, but people, I would rather decode letters and, figure out what words are rather than what X and Y is. So, and that's me. I have nothing against mathematicians. I'm proud that I have a son that's that way, but it did not come from me. And I certainly would never have discouraged that. So, I'm not, ready to bash. Because I understand why that exists. I understand in the most practical way. If I had 12 students of varying levels, perhaps I could individualize education for all of them. But if I have 34 people, and meet 34 different people 5 times a day, and it's all mixed up. So I have to give you something because you don't know phonics. Then I have to give you something that's at a 10th grade level. And then I have to give you something that's totally different than the rest of that. That just makes it... I don't know what people expect from teachers. I don't know what people expect. That's just too much.
You don't have to defend teachers. You listen to the In the Village with Marjorie on the South Orange Maple.
And the comments of Anselm need to be excused because he's a neophyte in this.
You listen to In the Village with Marjorie on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience. She went into that.
I'm sorry, I just went on a rampage, a diatribe.
A soliloquy.
Oh, nice word,
a soliloquy. A long soliloquy. Because somehow
I'm tired of talking about
somehow
this.
You believe that. Somehow you believe that. Most of those kids in that lower level want to be there. That's your belief.
I don't think that their parents... Well, wait a minute.
That's your belief.
Again, you and I need to go out and talk to people.
But do you believe that or not?
That the kid wants to be there?
Most of those kids want to be in those lower levels.
I think some people are just happy to be in school and at Columbia High School.
Why don't you answer the question? Do you believe?
It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter.
It does.
I have no belief. I can only tell you about what I have observed. And some people do not want that. Listen, none of my kids are my favorite kids. He says, I'm being your AP class. Okay. Then the class got too crowded. So they had to kick somebody out. They took him out because he does not have a history of being in honors. And I'm thinking, wow, how unequitable is that? Anybody can be in an AP class. Ms. Lloyd, get me back in. I walk all over the building, do all of this stuff to get the kid back in. He says, that's okay. I don't want to be in there. I'll just go to the other class.
Now,
was I shocked by that? No. I'm like, how are you going to do something like that?
Margie,
I don't know these people. He came in the room and he was intimidated. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this.
He's passionate tonight,
it takes a certain kind of black person who can be around a whole bunch of white people all day and not look at their own people. You have to be